Hello everyone. Hi. I have a bunny's head in the way. One. One. And thank you for the Luxica. And I have made tea. A lot of tea. Tea. Hey, tea. Eh. But yes. Eh. Do. Yes. Oh yeah. Oh, I hope everyone have had a lovely weekend and a lovely week. And also the week before that. Last time I decided to spend time with my mom, watching Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. So yeah, that took some time. um, so yeah, just need to answer this message. Bookmarks. Bookmarks bar. Shopping? No, it wasn't the bookmarks bar. It was other bookmarks. And then we have the business, and we have the bookbinding. Then we have tools. Um, eh. But yeah, today we are trying to go to Mordor, I suppose. At least the Black Gate will open. Ah. Oh yeah. But I have got a new teapot. It's an old one. I got it from my mom. Can't show it all, but yeah. And then it has tea written on it. So I actually got my own teapot now, which is actually quite nice. because then I do not have to go out and make more. Oh yeah. Yeah. But yes, let's see how many pages we have today. So 56 to 69. Damn. We only have 13 pages today. Scheiße. That was a long chapter. 97 from... That's 25 pages. Yeah. It seems like it's gonna be a shorter stream today. Because, yeah, we're not reading 40 pages today. But yes, the bunny says hello. And I should be on next Sunday as well. I might be a little delayed because I'm traveling half across the country to be able to read for you. So yeah. But I'll give like 4 or 5 hours of notice if I can't get home on time. So yeah. Oh yeah, but some good news. Over the summer, stream times are gonna be a little different from start of June to start of August. Because I'm gonna be in New Zealand by then. So yeah. The stream time's gonna be a little bit different. But I'm still gonna stream it. And of course I hope to see you all at that point. But I understand that some can't because it's a lot of a time difference. But if I stream on normal time, but in New Zealand, then it would be 9 a.m. here that I start. So yeah, I'm still figuring everything out. But yeah. The plan is already made that I'm gonna be in New Zealand from start of June to like a week or two in to August. So yeah. Hi Leo, welcome in. Lovely to see you. I hope you had a lovely week. And here's a Bun Bun saying hi to you. Yeah, me too. And my girlfriend is already planning my birthday. Like it's 5 months from now that my birthday is, or no, it's 4.5 months. Yeah, 4.5 months approximately. And she is already planning it. So yeah, it's gonna be fun. I want to see how many chapters we have in the second part of this book. I do not need an index. Oh my god, so many pages. And appendix. And appendix and appendix. Can we get to somewhere which is not like an appendix? Damn! That is just appendixes and and the index. Scheiße. That's nuts. Oh! Guys, we only have 10 chapters left. We only have 10 weeks left. So if everything goes by plan, I'm actually gonna finish the book before I go to New Zealand. Damn! That's nuts. But Leo, think about it. Even when I finish the book, I'm starting a new one. And the next one is gonna be The Hobbit. And always remember that you can go to my YouTube. I think I have written it like this. Yeah, you can always go in there and watch my latest stream. And hopefully over the summer, maybe not. Now I'm going to New Zealand. But yeah, I'm gonna try to read it like read it like an audiobook and post it on YouTube as well. Hi Tommy, hi. Welcome in. Lovely to see you. So yes, 10 chapters left. Wow. I'm actually quite good. I 2 days ago I booked plane tickets. So yeah, in 2.5 months, I am going to sit on a plane to New Zealand. So stream times are gonna change a little while I'm in New Zealand. Still planning how they are gonna change though. So yeah. Of course I'm trying to make it so most of you can see it. But of course I know everyone can't. So as usual, I'm also uploading my streams to YouTube so you can follow even if you do not catch the stream. And I'm just gonna pin it for, yeah, let's say an hour. Eh, eh. Oh, I can't do it. I can only do 30 minutes. Okay. So yes, if you can't follow, or if you can't catch my streams during the during my time to New Zealand, then go in onto my YouTube and find the streams there. I'm gonna try to upload it right after I have finished stream. So yeah. Of course, it won't be the same quality as it is now, but yeah. I'm still gonna read because I love it to be here and to read for you amazing people. And to me, the bunny says hi. Hi. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. But yes. Let's start today. It's not gonna be very long today because it's like 13 pages. But next time it's gonna be quite longer as it's 30 pages, I think it was. So yeah. Oh. So here we go. And please tell me if the music is too loud compared to me. To me. I always laugh of that. Chapter 10. The Black Gate opens. 2 days later, the army of the West was all assembled on the Pelennor. The host of orcs and easterlings had turned back out of Anorian, but harried and scattered by the Rohirrim, they had broken and fled with little fighting towards Caer Andros. And with that threat destroyed, and new strength arriving out of the south, the city was as well manned as might be. Hi, Hirefling. Hi. Uh, Scouts reported that no enemies remained upon the roads east as far as the crossroads of the fallen king. All now was ready for the last throw. Legolas and Gimli were to ride again together in the company of Aragorn and Gandalf, who went in the van with the Dunedain and the sons of Elrond, but Merry, to his shame, was not to go with them. "You are not fit for such a journey," said Aragorn. But do not be ashamed. If you do no more in this war, you have already earned great honor. Peregrine shall go and represent the Shire folk, and do not grudge him his chance of peril, for though he has done as well as his fortune allowed him, he has yet to match your deed. But in truth, all now are in like danger, though it may be our part to find a bitter end before the gate of Mordor. If we do so, then you will come also to a last stand, either here or wherever the black tide overtakes you. Farewell. And so despondently Merry now stood and watched the mustering of the army. Virgil was with him, and he also was downcast, for his father was to march leading a company of the men of the city. He could not rejoin the guard until his case was judged. In that same company, Pippin was also to go, as a soldier of Gondor. Merry could see him not far off, a small but upright figure among the tall men of Minas Tirith. At last the trumpets rang, and the army began to move, troop by troop, and company by company. They wheeled and went off eastwards. And long after they had passed away out of sight down the great road to the causeway, Mary stood there. The last glint of the morning sun on spear and helm twinkled and was lost, and still he remained with bowed head and heavy heart, feeling friendless and alone. Everyone that he cared for had gone away into the gloom that hung over the distant eastern sky. At little hope at all was left in his heart that he would ever see any of them again. You guys haven't had dinner? Leo, it's so late for you. Yeah, lunch for you. Yeah, I know. And don't run around the kitchen, just walk. And literally don't run around with anything sharp. Heh heh. I saw a joke. A clean beaver always gets more wood. That was so fun. Oh yeah, Toomey and Earthling. Do you know why a NASCAR driver can't get a date on Tinder? Yeah, exactly, Toomey. Oh, I like that one. Also, I got attacked by a man with milk. How dare you? Oh, the jokes are so bad. So bad that is funny. Did you get it, Leo? How dare he? Yeah, it was terrible, but it's funny. Also, do you know what a duck on drugs is called? Yeah, a duck on drugs. Yeah, a quackhead. Oh. Yeah, it's so funny. Oh yeah, how do you make an egg roll? Yeah, you push it. Oh. Earthling, you should know all of my jokes are bad. Except one I sent to me a couple of days ago. Oh, that one was actually funny, and it was Lord of the Rings. Do you remember it to me? Smigel. Oh, it's so funny. Whenever I find something Spanish, Mexican, something, I always send it to Tumi. Because if Tumi laughs at it, then it's approved. Oh, Miguel. I have no idea what you said, Earthling. Yeah, we like the French weird. Tumi approved. Yes. Oh my god. Such a cute little ghost. What did this person do? CA in LA. What is this person doing? They do music. Which kind of music? Like Spanish, American, pop? Oh, well, that's nice. Yeah, that's actually cute. Oh, they're best friends. That's nice. It's it's kind of weird. And I forgot what I said. Oh, but yeah. Well, then you know it for next time, Earthling. I always have popcorn kernels in my kitchen. I do not buy them already popped. I'm popping them myself because if they're pre-popped, they always salt them too much, and I do not like that. And yes, here you don't get butter and caramel and all of those other things that you can get in the US. It's popcorn with salt, and that's it. I have contemplated to pop them in butter instead, but yeah, I haven't done it yet. Oh, fair. But what the fuck do I know? I'm just a Scandinavian. Yeah, I do know how to drive a truck. That's true. And I'm good at driving a truck. That I do not know. Yeah, that I do know. Yes. I know a lot about logistics. And I'm trying to learn about cultures. So yeah. I know some places in the US. Um, that if someone says that their home, that you should come over to the home, it's not always what they mean. which is very confusing for me. Because I take most things literal. But at least I'm trying to understand people of other cultures. And that is more than a lot of people do. Yeah, remember if the onions goes red, then you have hit something else. Yes, on to reading. Come, Master Pirian, said the lad. You are still in pain, I see. I will help you back to the healers. But do not fear. They will come back. The men of Minas Tirith will never be overcome. And now they have the Lord Elfstone and Beregond of the guard too. Ere noon the army came to Osgiliath. There all the workers and craftsmen that could be spared were busy. Some were strengthening the ferries and boat bridges that the enemy had made and in part destroyed when they fled. Some gathered stores and booty, and others on the eastern side across the river were throwing up hasty works of defense. Watch your fingers, Leo. Watch your fingers. Ugh. No people shall be hurt. The vanguard passed on through the ruins of old Gondor, and over the wide river, and on up the long straight road that in the high days had been made to run from the fair tower of the sun to the tall tower of the moon, which now was Minas Morgul in its accursed vale. 5 miles beyond Osgiliath they halted, ending their first day's march. But the horsemen pressed on, and ere evening they came to the crossroads and the great ring of trees, and all was silent. No sign of the enemy had they seen, no cry or call had been heard, no shaft had been sped from rock or thicket by the way. Yet ever as they went forward, they felt the watchfulness of the land increase. Tree and stone, blade and leaf were listening. The darkness had been dispelled, and far away, westward sunset was on the vale of Anduin. And the white peaks of the mountains blushed in the blue air, but a shadow and a gloom brooded upon the Efelduath. Yeah, see you soon to me. See ya. Then Aragorn set trumpeters at each of the 4 roads that ran into the ring of trees. Do you mean the Toomey run? Yes, Toomey is a great artist. And so is 6. And it's 600 who have drawn H1XA3. Isn't it like that? Yeah, it is. There we go. So yes, Six is very talented, and Toomey has made a lot of emotes for me. And I really appreciate her having time to do it. Because they're so cute. Why can't I find it now? Pad here. And also this one. So talented. And then we start again. Then Aragorn set trumpeters at each of the 4 roads that ran into the ring of trees, and they blew a great fanfare, and the heralds cried aloud, "The lords of Gondor have returned, and all this land that is theirs they take back." The hideous orc head that was set upon a carven figure was cast down and broken into pieces, and the old king's head was raised and set in its place once more, still crowned with white and golden flowers, and men labored to wash and pare away all the foul scrawls that orcs had put upon the stone. Now in that debate some had counselled that Minas Morgul should be first assailed, and if they might take it, it should be utterly destroyed. And maybe, said Imrahil, the road that leads thence to the pass above will be proven an easier way of assault upon the Dark Lord than his northern gate. But against this Gandalf had spoken urgently, because of the evil that dwelt in the valley, where the minds of living men would turn to madness and horror, and because also of the news that Faramir had brought. For if the ring bearer had indeed attempted that way, then all above all they should not draw the eye of Mordor thither. So the next day, when the main host came up, they set a strong guard upon the crossroads to make some defense. If Mordor should send a force over the Morgul Pass, or should bring more men up from the south. For that guard they chose mostly archers who knew the ways of Ithilien and would lie hid in the woods and slopes about the meeting of the ways. But Gandalf and Aragorn rode with the vanguard to the entrance of Morgul Vale and looked on the evil city. It was dark and lifeless, for the orcs and lesser creatures of Mordor that had dwelt there had been destroyed in battle, and the Nazgul were abroad. Yet the air of the valley was heavy with fear and enmity. Then they broke the evil bridge and set flames in the noisome fields and departed. The day after being the 3rd day since they set out from Minas Tirith, the army began its northward march along the road. It was some 100 miles by that way from the crossroads to the Morannon, and what might befall them before they came so far, none knew. They went openly but heedfully, with mounted scouts before them on the road, and others on foot upon either side, especially on the eastward flank, for there lay dark thickets and a tumbled land of rocky gulls and crags, behind which the long grim slopes of the Ifel Duath clambered up. The weather of the world remained fair, and the wind held in the west, but nothing could waft away the glooms and the sad mists that clung about the mountains of Chateau, and behind them at whiles great smokes would arise and hover in the upper winds. What is ink pop? Because yes, I do not know what that is. Oh, inköp. So like a grocery shopping, you mean? And the weird thing is, if you do it like this, it has a different meaning. So like the first one is like just doing a purchase, and the other one is going out to shop. So like if you go grocery shopping or you go out to buy something. Yeah. So yes, that is the act of of buying something. So yes. Ever and anon Gandalf let blow the trumpets, and the heralds would cry, "The lords of Gondor are come, let all leave this land or yield them up." But Imrahil said, "Say not the lords of Gondor, say the King Elessar, for that is true, even though he has not yet sat upon the throne, and it will give the enemy more thought if the heralds use that name." And thereafter thrice a day the heralds proclaimed the coming of the King Elessar, but none answered the challenge. Nonetheless, though they marched in seeming pace, the hearts of all the army, from the highest to the lowest, were downcast, and with every mile that they went north, foreboding of evil grew heavier on them. It was near the end of the second day of their march from the crossroads that they first met any offer of battle, for a strong force of orcs and Easterlings attempted to take their leading companies in an ambush, and that was in the very place where Faramir had waylaid the men of Harad. And the road went in a deep cutting through an outthrust of the eastern hills, but the captains of the west were well warned by the scouts, skilled men from Henneth Anun, led by Malblung, and so the ambush was itself trapped, for the horsemen went wide about westward and came up on the flank of the enemy, and from behind they were destroyed or driven east into the hills. But the victory did little to enhearten the captains. It is but a feint, said Aragon, and its chief purpose, I deem, was rather to draw us on by a false guess of our enemy's weakness than to do us much hurt yet. And from that evening onward, the Nazgul came and followed every move of the army. They still flew high and out of sight of all save Legolas, and yet their presence could be felt, as a deepening of shadow and dimming the sun, and though the ring-wraiths did not yet stoop low upon their foes and were silent, uttering no cry, the dread of them could not be shaken off. So yes, so now we take a break because we have got to an hour. So I will see you all when the break is over. Bye bye. We are back. Back again. Yeah. Okay, and where did we get to? Okay, here. The time and the hopeless journey wore away. Upon the fourth day from the crossroads, and the sixth from Minas Tirith, they came at last to the end of the living lands, and began to pass into the desolation that lay before the gates of the paths of Sirith Gogor. And they could descry the marshes and the desert that stretched north and west of the Iman Mule. So desolate were the places, and so deep the horror that lay on them, that some of the host were unmanned, and they could neither walk nor ride further north. I'm not in Toronto. Why would I be in Toronto? Aragorn looked at them, and there was pity in his eyes rather than wrath. For these were young men from Rohan, from Westfold far away, or husbandmen from Lossarnach, and to them Mordor had been from childhood a name of evil, and yet unreal, a legend that had no part in their simple life, and now they walked like men in a hideous dream made true. And they understood not this war, nor why fate should lead them to such a pass. Yeah, I haven't got to Toronto yet. I would like to visit Canada though. I would also like to visit the US at some point. You pan-picked. Not panicked, pan-picked. Was it a good pan you picked? Well, uh, at the moment I'm just keeping it positive. I think there will be. Might take some time, but I think that might be. Yeah, but Doc, think about it. Who will it be the worst for? Will it be worse for him or me? I can't fucking remember his name. Uh, is this? Yeah, it is. Here. This amazing guy. Well, what if I go there and poke him? Like all the time. Just poke him. No, 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 no. Brock is a nice guy. It's not his fault he's Canadian. Yes, go, said Aragorn, but keep what honor you may, and do not run. And there is a task which you may attempt, and so be not wholly ashamed. Take your way southwest till you come to Caer Andros, and if that is still held by enemies, as I think, then retake it, if you can, and hold it to the last in defense of Gondor and Rohan. Then some, being ashamed, by his mercy overcame their fear, and went on. And the others took new hope, hearing of a manful deed within their measure that they could turn to, and they departed. And so, since many men had already been left at the crossroads, it was with less than 6,000 that the captains of the West came at last to challenge the Black Gate and the might of Mordor. They advanced now slowly, expecting at every hour some answer to the challenge, and they drew together, since it was but waste of men to send out scouts or small parties from the main host. At nightfall of the 5th day of the march from Morgul Vale, they made their last camp, and set fires about it of such dead wood and health as they could find. They passed the hours of night in wakefulness, and they were aware of many things half seen that walked and prowled all about them, and they heard the howlings of wolves. The wind had died, and all the air seemed still. They could see little, for though it was cloudless, and the waxing moon was 4 nights old, there were smokes and fumes that rose out of the earth, and the white crescent was shrouded in the mists of Mordor. It grew cold. As morning came, the wind began to stir again, but now it came from the north, and soon it freshened to a rising breeze. All the night walkers were gone, and the land seemed empty. North, amid their noisome pits, lay the first of the great heaps and hills of slag and broken rock and blasted earth, the vomit of the maggot folk of Mordor. But south and now near loomed the great rampart of Sidrigogor, and the Black Gate amid most, and the 2 towers of the Teeth, tall and dark upon either side. For in the last march the captains had turned away from the old road as it bent east, and avoided the peril of the lurking hills. So now they were approaching the Morannon from the northwest, even as Frodo has done. The 2 vast iron doors of the Black Gate under its frowning arch were fast closed. Upon the battlement nothing could be seen. All was silent but watchful. They were come to the last end of their folly, and stood forlorn and chill in the grey light of early day, before towers and walls which the army could not assault with hope, not even if it had brought thither engines of great power, and the enemy had no more force than would suffice for the manning of the gate and wall alone. Yet they knew that all the hills and rocks about the Morannon were filled with hidden foes, and the shadowy defile beyond was bored and tunneled by steaming broods of evil things. And they saw all the Nazgul gathered together, hovering above the towers of the teeth like vultures. And they knew that they were watched. But still the enemy made no sign. No choice was left them but to play their part to its end. Therefore Aragorn now set the host in such array as could be best contrived, and they were drawn up on two great hills of blasted stone and earth that orcs had piled in years of labor. Before them Mordor lay like a moth, a great mire of reeking mud and foul-smelling pools. When all was ordered, the captains rode forth toward the Black Gate with a great guard of horsemen and the banner and heralds of and trumpeters. There was Gandalf as chief herald, and Aragorn with the sons of Elrond, and Eomer of Rohan, and Imrahil, and Legolas and Gimli, and Peregrine were forbidden to go also, so that all the enemies of Mordor should have a witness. They came within cry of the Morannon, and unfurled the banner, and blew upon their trumpets, and the heralds stood out, and sent their voices up, over the battlement of Mordor. Come forth, they cried, let the Lord of the Black Land come forth. Justice shall be done upon him, for wrongfully he hath made war upon Gondor, and wrested its lands. Therefore the king of Gondor demands that he should atone for his evils, and depart then forever. Come forth. There was a long silence, and from wall and gate no cry or sound was heard in answer. But Sauron had already laid his plans, and he had a mind first to play these mice cruelly before he struck to kill. So it was that, even as the captains were about to turn away, the silence was broken suddenly. There came a long rolling of great drums, like thunder in the mountains, and then a braying of horns that shook the very stones and stunned men's ears. And thereupon the door of the Black Gate was thrown open with a great clang, and out of it came an embassy from the Dark Tower. At its head there rode a tall and evil shape, mounted upon a black horse, if horse it was. For it was a huge and hideous, and its face was a frightful mask, more like a skull than a living head, and in the sockets of its eyes and in its nostrils there burned a flame. The rider was robed all in black, and black was his lofty helm. Yet this was no ring wraith, but a living man. The lieutenant of the Tower of Barad-dûr he was, and his name is remembered in no tale, for he himself had forgotten it, and he said, I am the mouth of Sauron. But it is told that he was a renegade who came of the race of those that are named the Black Numorians, for they established their dwellings in the Middle-earth during the years of Sauron's domination, and they worshipped him, being enamored of evil knowledge, and he entered the service of the Dark Tower when it first rose again, and because of his cunning he grew ever higher in the Lord's favor, and he learned great sorcery, and knew much of the mind of Sauron, and he was more cruel than any orc. He it was that rode out, and with him came only a small company of black harness soldiery, and a single banner, black, but bearing on it in red the evil eye, now halting a few paces before the captains of the West. He looked them up and down and laughed. Is there anyone in this rout with authority to treat with me? He asked, or indeed with wit to understand me? Not though, at least, he mocked, turning to Aragon with scorn. It needs more to make a king than a piece of Elvis glass, or a rabble such as this. Why, any brigand of the hills can show as good a following. Aragon said naught in answer, but he took the other's eye and held it. And for a moment they strove thus, but soon, though Aragon did not stir nor move hand to weapon, the other quailed and gave back as it menaced with a blow. I am a herald and an ambassador, and may not be assailed, he cried. Where such laws hold, said Gandalf, it is also the custom for ambassadors to use less insolence. But no one has threatened you. You have naught to fear from us until your errand is done. But unless your master has come to new wisdom, then with all his servants you will be in great peril. So, said the messenger, then thou art the spokesman, old greybeard. Have we not heard of thee at whiles, and of thy wanderings, ever hatching plots and mischief at a safe distance? But this time thou hast struck out thy nose too far, Master Gandalf, and thou shalt see what comes to him who sets his foolish webs before the feet of Sauron the Great. I have tokens that I was bidden to show thee. To thee in special, if those should dare to come. He signed to one of his guards, and he come forward bearing a bundle swathed in black clothes. Oh, thank you, Earthling. The messenger put these aside, and there, to the wonder and dismay of all the captains, he held up first the short sword that Sam had carried, and next a grey cloak with an elven brooch, and last the coat of mithril mail that Frodo had worn wrapped in his tattered garments. A blackness came before their eyes, and it seemed to them in a moment of silence that the world stood still, but their hearts were dead, and their last hope gone. Pippin, who stood behind Prince Imrahil, sprang forward with a cry of grief. Silence, said Gandalf sternly, thrusting him back. But the messenger laughed aloud. So you have yet another of these imps with you, he cried. What use you find in them I cannot guess, but to send them as spies into Mordor is beyond even your accustomed folly. Still I thank him, for it is in plain that this brat at least has seen these tokens before, and it would be vain for you to deny them now. I do not wish to deny them, said Gandalf. Indeed, I know them all, and all their history, and despite your scorn, foul mouth of Sauron, you cannot say much. But why do you bring them here? Dwarf coat, elf cloak, blade of the downfall in west, and spy from the little ratland of the Shire? Nay, do not start. We know it well. Here are the marks of a conspiracy. Now may he that bore these things was a creature that you would not give grief to lose, or maybe otherwise one dear to you perhaps. If so, take swift counsel with what little wit is left to you, For Sauron does not love spies, and what his faith shall be depends now on your choice. No one answered him, but he saw their faces grey with fear and the horror in their eyes, and he laughed again, for it seemed to him that his sport went well. Good, good, he said. He was dear to you, I see, or else his errand was one that you did not wish to fail. It has. And now he shall endure the slow torments of years, as long and slow as our arts in the great tower can contrive, and never be released, unless maybe when he is changed and broken, so that he may come to you, and you shall see what you have done. This shall surely be unless you accept my lord's terms. Name the terms, said Gandalf steadily, but those nearby saw the anguish in his face, and now he seemed an old and wizened man, crushed, defeated at last. They did not doubt that he would accept. These are the terms, said the messenger, and smiled as he eyed them one by one. The rabble of Gondor and its deluded allies shall withdraw at once beyond the Anduin, first taking oath never again to assail Sauron the Great in arms, open or secret. All lands east of the Anduin shall be Sauron's forever, solely. West of the Anduin, as far as the Misty Mountains and the Gap of Rohan, shall be tributary to Mordor, and men there shall bear no arms, but shall have leave to govern their own affairs. But they shall help to rebuild Isengard, which they have utterly destroyed, and that shall be Sauron's. And there his lieutenant shall dwell, not Saruman, but one more worthy of trust. Looking in the messenger's eyes, they read his thought. He was to be that lieutenant, and gather all that remained of the West under his sway. He would be the tyrant, and they his slaves. But Gandalf said, this is much to demand for the delivery of one's servant. That your master should receive in exchange what he must else fight many a war to gain? Or has the field of Gondor destroyed his hope in war, so that he falls to haggling? And if indeed we rated this prisoner so high, what surety have we that Sauron, the base master of treachery, will keep his part? Where is this prisoner? Let him be brought forth and yielded to us, and then we will consider these demands. It seemed then to Gandalf, intent, watching him as a man engaged in fencing with a deadly foe, that for the taking of the breath the messenger was at a loss. Yet swiftly he laughed again. Do not bandy words in your insolence with the mouth of Sauron, he cried. Surety you crave, Sauron gives none. If you sue for his clemency, you must first do his bidding. These are his terms, take them or leave them. These we will take, said Gandalf subtly. He cast aside his cloak, and white light shone forth like a sword. In that black place, before his unpraised hand, the foul messenger recoiled, and Gandalf seized and took from him the tokens, coat, cloak, and sword. These we will take in memory of our friend, he cried. But as for your terms, we reject them utterly. Get you gone, for your embassy is over, and death is near to you. We did not come here to waste words in threatening with Sauron, faithless and accursed, still less with one of his slaves be gone. Then the messenger of Mordor laughed no more. His face was twisted with amazement and anger to the likeness of some wild beast that, as it crouches on its prey, is smitten on the muzzle with a stinging rod. Rage filled him, and his mouth slavered, and shapeless sounds of fury came strangling from his throat. But he looked at the fell faces of the captains and their deadly eyes, and fear overcame his wrath. He gave a great cry and turned, leaped upon his steed, and with his company galloped madly back to Sirithogor. But as they went, his soldiers blew their horns, in signal long arranged, and even before they came to the gate, Sauron sprang his trap. Drums rolled, and fires leaped up. The great doors of the black gate swung back wide. Out of it streamed a great host, as swiftly as swirling waters when a sluice is lifted. The captains mounted again and rode back, and from the host of Mordor there went up jeering yell. Dust rose, smothering the air, as from nearby there marched up an army of Easterlings that had waited for the signal in the shadows of Erith beyond the further tower. Down from the hills on either side of the Morannon poured orcs innumerable. The men of the west were trapped, and soon all about the great mounds where they stood. Forces 10 times, and more than 10 times, their match would ring them in a sea of enemies. Sauron had taken the prophet bait in jaws of steel. Little time was left to Aragorn for the ordering of his battle. Upon one hill he stood with Gandalf, and there fair and desperate was raised the banner of the tree and stars. Upon the other hill, hard by, stood the banners of Rohan and Dol Amroth, white horse and silver swan. And about each hill a ring was made, facing always, bristling with spear and sword. But in the front towards Mordor, where the first bitter assault would come, there stood the sons of Elrond, on the left with the Dunedain about them, and on the right the Prince Imrahil and the men of Dol Amroth, tall and fair, and picked men of the Tower Guard. The wind blew and the trumpet sang, and arrows whined. But the sun now climbing towards the south was veiled in the reeks of Mordor, and through a threatening haze it gleamed. Remote and sullen red, as if it were the ending of the day, or maybe ending of all the world of light. And out, oh shit, and out of, I need to read. And out of the gathering murk the Nazgul came, with their cold voices crying words of death, and then all hope was quenched. Pippin had bowed, crushed with horror, when he heard Gandalf reject the terms and doom Frodo to the torment of the tower. But he had mastered himself, and now he stood beside Beregond in the front rank of Gondor with Imrahil's men, for it seemed best to him to die soon and leave the bitter story of his life, since all was in ruin. I wish Merry was here, he heard himself saying, and quick thoughts raced through his mind, even as he watched the enemy come charging to the assault. Well, now at any rate I understand poor Denethor a little better. We might die together, Merry and I, and since die we must, why not?
Good lord, it's a
Oh.
raid! Bunnies, take your posts!
Hi! Welcome in. Eh, oh, wait. Welcome in, everyone. Nah, Noxus is a good bean. Noxus is a good bean. We like Noxus here. Welcome in, everyone. Well, we are at the moment being ambushed by the great forces of Mordor after after some negotiation. Yeah. So we kind of fluffed at the moment. But I'm sure it will all get better. Ooh! Bunmet? I don't know. I don't know a Bunmet. Maybe it's the bunny of Islam. I don't know. Maybe. Could be. Bunnies are in all places. And yes, say hi. The bunny says hi to you. Hi. And this is what is happening if you do not behave properly. Then you will be judged by the bunny. It is very judging of you. Hi, Samu. Hi. Ooh, yeah. Hot chocolate. Nice. But I have tea. I like tea. And look at my cup. It's a bunny cup. Yeah, that's all good. You gotta see my lurk command though. Yeah, but Noxus, are you really sure? I'm not so sure that is the choice of yours. I think. I'm sure that Noxus would rather be judged by someone with whips. Yes. Ooh. Damn. Noxus is hitting on Hema. Nom nom. And a little joke about Lord of the Rings in a Spanish way or Mexican way. Look, it's Miguel. It's so funny. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Schmigel. Schmigel with a mustache and a sombrero. I think it's called a sombrero. I don't know. I'm not Mexican or Spanish or down from there. So, did the Hema sombrero? Yeah. So, did Hema finish the doggo? Eh. We need to see the doggo. Need to see it. Need to see it. It's our tax. Our tax. All the doggos. Oh, nice. Our tax. We need to do some art tax. Well, thank you all for coming in. I really appreciate the raid. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the time here, which unfortunately won't be that long. Destabilizing? Destabilizing what? Oh, that was good one. That was a good one, Noxus. The stable stream. Yeah, that's fun. Mm. He drew his sword and looked at it, and the intertwining shapes of red and gold, and the flowing characters of Numenor glinted like fire upon the blade. This was made for just such an hour, he thought. If only I could smite that foul messenger with it, then almost I should draw level with old Mary. Well, I'll smite some of this beastly brood before the end. I wish I could see cool sunlight and green grass again. Noxus, we all know that even with your meds, you will still be a weirdo. You can't run from who you are. I'm sorry, honey. Then, even as he thought these things, the first assault crashed into them. The orcs, hindered by the mires that lay before the hills, halted and poured their arrows into the defending ranks, but through them there came striding up, roaring like beasts, a great company of hill trolls out of the Gogoroth. Taller and broader than men they were, and they were clad only in close-fitting mesh of horny scales. That sounds like Noxus. Or maybe that was their hideous hide, but they bore round bucklers and huge and black and wielded heavy hammers in their knotted hands. Reckless they sprang into the pools and waded across, bellowing as they came. Like a storm they broke upon the line of the men of Gondor, and beat upon helm and head, and arm and shield, as smith hewing the hot-bending iron. At Pippin's side Beregond was stunned and overborne, and he fell, and a great troll chief that smote him down bent over him, reaching out a clutched claw, for these fell creatures would bite the throats of those that they had thrown down. Then Pippin stabbed upwards, and the written blade of Westerness pierced through the hide and went deep into the vitals of the troll, and his black blood came gushing out. He toppled forward and came crashing down like a falling rock, burying those beneath him. Blackness and stench and crushing pain came upon Pippin, and his mind fell away into a great darkness. So it ends as I guessed it would, his thoughts said, even as it fluttered away, and it laughed a little with him ere it fled. Almost gay it seemed to be casting off at last all doubt and care and fear. And then, even as it winged away into forgetfulness, it heard voices, and they seemed to be crying in some forgotten world far above. The eagles are coming! The eagles are coming! For one moment more, For one moment more, Pippin's thought hovered. Bilbo, it said, but no. That came in his tale, long, long ago. This is my tale, and it is ended now. Goodbye. And his thought fell far away, and his eyes saw no more. And that was the last of today. And with that, we only have 9 chapters left of the book. So yes. Let us see who we can rate. And remember, suggestions are always welcome. Yeah, please say. Gaming Crow. Let's see who that is. Oh. So it's their birthday today. We always like to support people. Oh. Hmm. Now there's so many choices. So is Wolf Brother Cinema streaming this every Sunday? You too, Doc. I hope you will enjoy your week. Yeah, but not with Chris. Oh, why not with Chris? Why is she not there every Sunday, though? But yes, let's rate the birthday boy. Oh, um, and me just fluffing up my things. But yes, grab the first message if you are if you're a follower. The second one if you are a subscriber, and then let's go and say hi to the birthday boy. And I hope you will all have a lovely week. And I hope to see you all next time, which should be Sunday next week. But that might be a little delayed, so probably at around 8 p.m. instead of 7 p.m. So, yes, I hope to see you all next Sunday and have a great week because here we go.